incredible night with or without Conor, but the Conor thing put it over, made it viral, all that stuff. Can I ask you about that? Like, how does that happen? How does just to be 1,000% blunt, because it was discussed. People asked me, did you guys pay for Conor to be there? How did it all go down?
Absolutely not. We don't pay for anyone to be there. We won't. We will never do that. That's not our thing. Look, I mean, of course, Chael Sonnen worked for us. He
Oh, well,
got
that's
paid.
different. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We'll never, ever, ever do that. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to grow this thing organically, and we're in a whole different place now. That was a, I as we're doing this growth, I always say, this event could turn the corner, or that's a turning point for us. I mean, it certainly turned for us. We bet everything on this event. We went big, and sometimes they say go big or go home, and luckily we didn't have to go home. We went big, and it moved us up a couple notches, I believe. Never arrogant, as you know me. I'm not at all, but I think that we really parked into the number 2 spot in combat sports right now.
Okay, so the Conor thing, how does it happen? He tells you, I'm just in the area. I wanna stop by.
Yeah, man. We got we were actually going to use his security before for a few things, and we were just going back and forth with them. And he said, I think Conor wants to come to the event. And my guy Dave Cranston hit me up, and he said, Conor McGregor wants to come. And I said, great, man, let's get him. He said, I'm not 100% sure yet. And we really didn't know until right before the event started that he was definitely coming. And then he flew out from LA and flew into Broomfield. We picked him up, and he made an epic appearance. But I mean, forget that he came, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. He got into a ring and accepted a challenge that's probably never going to happen. Let's be honest. He's under contract with UFC, but you never know what happens, right? But to accept a challenge to Mike Perry and say how much he loves this sport, and it's a great sport, and I have to try this, and yeah, let's do this, and put on one of our BKFC belts was unbelievable. I mean, it's something that people would pay millions of dollars for, that kind of notoriety, and it happened for free for us.
Where did he get the belt from?
Actually, Lorenzo Hunt was in the audience. He's my he's our double champ right now, 185 and 205, but he's given up one of those. But he had it, and he took it from him, or Lorenzo handed it to him. He got in the ring, and one of the statements he said, man, I didn't even fight for this promotion yet, and I already have their belt. So that was pretty cool too. It was awesome. Look, man, we worked so hard, as talking to you a few times before. We worked so hard, man. Like nothing was gifted to us. We climbed every bit of the way that we got here, and I'm not saying we're at the top yet. We're far from the top, but everybody, and I mean everybody in combat sports, was talking about us this week.
No, it's 100%. You own the weekend. Happened. Yeah, that's 100% fact. One last thing on the Conor thing. Did you know Perry was going to do that, or was that just spontaneous? Like, I'm sure you would have been happy with just him in the crowd, but did you know Perry was going to call him into the ring?
Well, actually, Cowboy was there too, and he said I'd like to get my get backs to Cowboy. I'm going to call him out. I said, whatever you want to do, man. I had no idea, and I didn't think, even if he did, I didn't think that Conor would jump in the ring, and that was an amazing moment for us. It was awesome, and obviously, we'll never interfere with what he's doing with the UFC, obviously, but it was awesome, and a couple of my guys on my team hung with him afterwards, and he said, this is what fighting's supposed to be. He said, this is the best thing I've ever seen in fighting.
Do you think the UFC was mad about that?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, if one of my guys went over there and said, this is the best thing I've ever seen,
or just him being there, like, do you think they were mad about him being there?
I don't know if he was mad. I have no idea, man. Yeah. Really.
Did you hear from them?
No.
Nothing. Okay. And Conor gets to play by a different set of rules.
He might, but he was with my guy saying, I'm going to get a phone call any minute now. I'm just waiting for that phone call.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, Conor McGregor is like the damn face of combat sports. Everyone knows Conor McGregor. Everybody's mom knows Conor McGregor. Everybody. So to get that face off with him, and it was, there was a certain way to do it, and it happened just right. To say, hey, can I get a face off with him? It wasn't disrespectful. You got to respect what the guy's done in the sport. Now you can put some respect on what I've done in this sport. And it's intriguing to people, especially to people like Conor. He loved it. He loved the show. He spoke highly of bare knuckle. the people who work for Bare Knuckle are all great. They all want to take this sport up because they know what we all sacrifice to compete in that event. And, you know, yes, I'm the face of it because I brought out the biggest face in combat sports, and we got to have a little moment in the middle of the ring.
And I want to ask you about that, but first, what was your reaction when you found out that he was there ringside?
So I was sitting up high in a skybox watching the event from the top of the arena. That was where my warm-up room was. And then everybody starts cheering. We hear this loud, the crowd's going off. And like, you know, I'm kind of in the zone. I'm going in between working out, sitting back down and being calm and watching some of the fights sometimes. And then the crowd's going crazy. And then, you know, everyone gets excited. And then my team's like, oh, Conor McGregor's here. And I'm like, oh, shit, that's what's up. And I was already the favorite. So I was already thinking I have to live up to the expectations. And then when Conor came, I was like, this is really an opportunity for me to live up to the expectations and do what everyone expects me to do. And I understand that Conor was there and he got to watch two guys that he had beaten compete in the co-main event, but they were all there to see what the bigger two-time world champion up against this bare knuckle street fighter who seems natural at this sport, you know, how I could fare against that bigger competition and if weight classes really make that much of a difference. That's what we were all there to find out. And I lived up to the expectations.
And that's honestly why I texted you, is because, you know, Conor McGregor pops up on these photos and these videos, and he's in the news. Has nothing to do with Michael Chandler, nothing to do with the UFC. He's in Denver, and you know, he's climbing into a ring and squaring off with Mike Perry. Where were you? How did you see that? And like what did you make of it?
So we bought the pay-per-view. That was Saturday, so I had my family in town and some friends in town. So we're like, hey, let's watch some fights, you know. And it's, you know, bare knuckle. Eddie Alvarez, a former opponent of mine, obviously. Chad Mendez, a friend of mine. Luke Rockhold, a friend of mine. Everybody loves watching Mike Perry fight. So it seemed like a good little Saturday night. And obviously Conor was there. You know, I think Conor was there originally too, to remind everybody that he beat Chad Mendez for the 145 title, beat, you know, Eddie for the 155 title. That's how, you know, the two guys fighting and squaring off were the reason that Conor became the double champ. So that was my original thought. And also, you know, you saw him at the Garcia Tank fight. He's been at a bunch of fights. I mean, the funny thing about Conor is he's as much a celebrity as he is a fighter. You know, it's almost like he's become such a big celebrity that people forget that he's a fighter, and he even forgets to act like a fighter certain times, in the sense that the celebrity aspect of him somewhat supersedes that. It was the same thing as Ryan Reynolds walking in there and facing off with Mike Perry. Mike Perry was like, hey man, my favorite actor here is Ryan Reynolds, and coming in there and doing a face off. It was great for bare knuckle. It was good for Mike Perry. Got some cool photo ops and stuff. Conor is signed with the UFC. He's under contract. He's not going to bare knuckle, obviously, but it was just an interesting thing. But once again, if you know anything about Conor and you followed him at all, or you follow the sport at all, obviously you do. Conor breaks the mold of what all of us are, right? He's broken the mold completely of fighters, of celebrity, of worldwide superstar. So it doesn't surprise me that things like that happen. You know, for him, it's another photo op, another opportunity to make people feel that he's really, really, you know, saying things like, I'm never retiring, not to spoil the show, but he said that to me on the show too. He's like, I'm never retiring. I'm gonna be in this game forever. You know, it's like, we know that's not true. You got to retire eventually. But it does show that he's, you know, in this fight game, at least for the foreseeable future.
Comes back.
And how about Conor just being outside cage like a kid?
That was awesome.
Right? Yeah, both guys he's fought, you know.
And then it was sweet when he came in with Mike Perry. He's like, how about Cowboy Cerrone? I took him out and won. That's the first thing he said.
Yeah. What an event.
You think Conor was boogered out?
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, yeah, he ain't fighting Chandler anytime soon. Chugging that bottle of whiskey.
Or maybe he is. He was shooting that shit when he fought Habib.
I'm just real interested why he was there. I think it's a bit like
There's something there.
There's something there.
There was for a reason.
It could be
Yeah.
that, or it's like it's a huge fight. He knocked out Eddie. He knocked out Chad Mendez. Mike and Luke Rockhold's a huge fight. It's probably like, fuck, I want to see that.
or could this be like a business move? Like he sees
There's
that this
definitely
could
business.
like
zone.
what if
Really?
Conor
Oh, yeah.
bought it?
How would he do against Mike Perry too? I feel like he'd be able to watch out. That'd be a scary
Bare
dude to
knuckle?
fight. Yeah.
Dude, Mike Perry's that's his sport.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
That left hand he ate from fucking Luke. Then go back the 2-minute rounds. Ate that left hand. Go back to the corner. Calm as a cucumber.
He's just got his neck and his pit bull fucking head.
And the way, dude, some of those that missed barely on Luke, he
The day of the fight that the odds changed. Luke Rockhold was the favorite for a while, but then Mike Perry on the fight night was the favorite.
Really?
I wonder why.
Just people are probably like, God damn, Mike Perry's gonna fuck him up. But dude, after that first flurry, kind of seeing Luke like almost stumble and be like, holy fuck, it looked like he was like shit.